Bobby, aka Anarchamedia here, and in this video, I would like to talk about the controversy of the Oswell E. Spencer redemption arc in Resident Evil Requiem. Now, from the perspective of a fan of the Resident Evil game specifically, I can absolutely understand why some fans would perceive this to be a betrayal of Oswell E. Spencer's arc in Resident Evil 5. However, if you know the deeper lore of the Resident Evil franchise, such as the comics and novels, you will know that whilst Spencer never totally abandoned his social Darwinist and eugenicist dreams, he did eventually recognize that the Weskers, Tricell, BSAA, and the connections took his research to extremes that he never intended. And, he wanted to cure viruses, not create them. He wanted to save the human race from its weaker genetic links, not create a zombie apocalypse. It was Umbrella's stupidity that resulted in that, right? Spencer himself was far from a good man, but like many, and in real life, of course, no one is just one thing, right? And it's often said, whether in fiction or in real life, the best villains are almost always the heroes of their own story. And Oswell E. Spencer is no exception. Hell, even Wesker, to an extent, was that way as well. Yes, Wesker was a terrorist, he was a traitor, but in his own mind, saving humanity from its weakest evolutionary links was worth any cost, right? And Wesker was far more evil than Spencer ever was. Which is ironic, of course, because Spencer's replacement, Dr. Victor Gideon, is far more evil than Wesker's clone Zeno ever was. As shown by the fact that Zeno actually, despite inheriting Wesker's psychopathy and social Darwinist ambitions, had some amount of empathy for the sad stories of Grace's clones, right? Whereas Victor simply saw them as necessary sacrifices for the evolution of the world. Furthermore, there is precedent in real life for uh, for eugenicists and social Darwinists later realizing the error of their ways, and scientific racists later realizing the error of their ways. For instance, Friedrich Nietzsche and H.P. Lovecraft on their deathbeds um, beds realized that a lot of the scientific racist philosophy they had devoted their lives to early in life very much conflicted with their more liberal ambitions and more individualistic views. And so, yeah, like, people are rarely ever one way in real life. Almost all of us as human beings have good qualities and bad qualities. Bobby, aka Anarcha Media, liberty, equality, fraternity, goodbye.